The core aspects of the game Dungeons and Dragons is in the name. Dragons, there's supposed to be a lot of lore around them, and they are uniquely and innately magical creatures, and they have some of them have the ability to harness that magic for spells and spell-like abilities. And it would make sense that there would be some people who would yearn to learn from these draconic magical masters, and the writer of this has put it upon themselves to do that. That's an interesting, cool way to start the introduction, and it just kind of filters out. Alright. Anywho, hello, welcome back, or welcome to DIS. I am this idiot, and you are hearing me speak again, or for the first time, whichever one. Because you're hearing me speak, you can go ahead and go on with your life, or if you're curious about today's, today's subclass, it is, which is the Dragon Rune Knight Fighter. A very similar to the official Rune Knight, but with some draconic shifts from being a giant Rune Knight to a Dragon Rune Knight. Some interesting, flavorful, and mechanical shifts. So without further ado, let's get into that. Pardon me. Alright, Fighter Martial Archetype, Dragon Rune Knight. The archetypal Dragon Rune Knight utilizes their intense study of dragons to achieve a multitude of combat enhancements. Dragon Rune Knights use ancient runic glyphs created by dragons to instill their weapons, armor, and shields with magic to overcome their foes. Each rune embodies the core aspects of the dragon who created it. And runes are grouped by dragon families, chromatic or metallic. These knights must find a balance between intellectual studying and combat prowess to channel the magic of these dragons. Rune Magic. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn how to use ancient runes created by either chromatic or metallic dragons to enhance your gear. When you gain this feature, you must choose which family of dragons, chromatic or metallic, to follow, and you learn how to inscribe 2 runes of your choice on weapons, armor, or shields. See Rune Options. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch a number of objects equal to the number of runes you know, and you inscribe a rune onto each of the objects. To be eligible, an object must be a weapon, a suit of armor, or a shield. Your rune remains on an object until you finish a long rest, and an object can bear up to 3 runes at a time. Each time you gain a level in this class, you can replace one rune you know with a different one. All rune options are detailed at the end of this description. Bonus Proficiencies. At 3rd level, you gain proficiency with Jeweler's Tools, and you learn to speak, read, and write Draconic. Dragon's Might. At 3rd level, you can imbue yourself with the Might of Dragons. As a bonus action, you magically gain the following benefits, which last for 1 minute. If you are smaller than large, you become large, along with anything you are wearing. If you lack the room to become large, your size doesn't change. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d6 damage. You can use this feature twice, and you regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest. Defensive Runes. Starting at 7th level, you learn to invoke your rune magic to protect your allies. When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to grant a bonus to the creature's AC against that attack. The bonus equals 1 plus your intelligence modifier. A minimum of +2 total. In addition, you learn one new rune of your choice from the Rune Magic feature, for a total of 3 known. Great Stature. At 10th level, the magic of your runes permanently alters you. When you gain this feature, roll 3d4. You will grow a number of inches in height equal to this roll. Moreover, the extra damage you deal with your Dragon's Might feature increases to 1d8. In addition, you learn one new rune of your choice from your Rune Magic feature, for a total of 4 runes known. And Rune Magic Mastery. Starting at 15th level, you can invoke each rune you know from your Rune Magic feature twice, rather than once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. In addition, you learn one new rune of your choice from the Rune Magic feature, for a total of 5 runes known. And finally, with the features, you have Blessing of the Ancient Fang. At 18th level, you learn how to share your rune magic with your allies. When you use your Dragon's Might feature, you can choose one willing creature you can see within 60 feet of you. The chosen creature also gains the benefits of your Dragon's Might feature. And on to the Rune Options. You first gain this Rune Magic feature at 3rd level and again at 7th, 10th, and 15th level. Here are all of the chromatic and metallic rune options for the Rune Magic feature. They are all magical effects. If a rune requires a saving throw, your Rune Magic save DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. Chromatic dragons are Ixen, Red Dragon Rune. This rune's magic bestows the fiery rage of red dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you gain the tough exterior of a red dragon and gain fire resistance. In addition, when you invoke this rune as a bonus action, you radiate intense heat waves that hurt those who attack you. For 1 minute, when a creature succeeds in a melee attack towards you, they take 1d6 fire damage in return. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Dartac. Black Dragon Rune. This rune's magic channels the intense hatred for mortals of black dragons. While wearing or carrying an object being described with this rune, you gain a +2 bonus to your damage rolls with weapons attacks against humans. In addition, when a humanoid creature you can see makes an attack against you, you can use a reaction to invoke this rune and force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails to save, it becomes frightened of you for 1 minute. While frightened in this way, the creature cannot willingly move closer to you and has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while you are within line of sight. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, regaining its courage on a success. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Nadotir. Blue Dragon Rune. This rune's magic emulates the strategic thinking of blue dragons. Words. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on intelligence arcana checks, and you cannot be so surprised as long as you are not incapacitated. In addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action to heighten your awareness of battlefield strategies for 1 minute. Until this state ends, when you or another creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check. You can use a reaction to shout out combat orders or diversions to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so until you finish a short or long rest. Least Green Dragon Rune. This rune's magic evokes the cunningness of green dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on charisma deception checks and charisma persuasion checks. In addition, when you invoke this rune as a bonus action, you are more quick to deceive those around you. For a number of rounds equal to 1 plus your intelligence modifier, minimum of 2, you go invisible. You remain invisible until you make an attack roll, cast a spell, or the duration ends. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. And the final one of the chromatic dragons is Zhejuang, White Dragon Rune. This rune's magic induces the primal nature of white dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on wisdom, animal handling checks, and charisma intimidation checks. In addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action, gaining resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for 1 minute. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. And then we have the metallic dragons and their runes. We have Thurilvi, words. That's Thurilvi, Silver Dragon Rune. This rune's magic channels the congeniality of silver dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on intelligence history checks, and you have advantage on saving throws against being charmed. In addition, when a creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to invoke this rune and force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. Unless the save succeeds, the creature is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed in this way, the creature has the speed of 0 and is incapacitated, descending into a dreamy state of contentment. The effect ends if the charmed creature takes any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its haze. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Kalith, Gold Dragon Rune. This rune's magic emulates the valiant courage of gold dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on wisdom insight checks, and you cannot be frightened as long as you are not incapacitated. In addition, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can invoke this rune to summon small, fiery worms that wrap around the creature. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the worms, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, banishing the worms on a success. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Migir, Bronze Dragon Rune. This rune's magic invokes the militaristic might of bronze dragons. While carrying or wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on initiative checks. In addition, you may invoke this rune as a bonus action to bolster an ally's attacks in battle. For 1 minute, and one ally of your choice gains advantage on attack rolls when they are within 5 feet of you. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Yarkonis, Brass Dragon Rune. This rune's magic bestows the evasiveness of brass dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you can detect the presence of magic in items while held in your hands. In addition, when you are struck in combat, you can use your action to invoke this rune and expel a burst of energy around you. Any creatures within 10 feet of you when this rune is activated must make a strength saving throw or be knocked back 10 feet and fall prone. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. And finally, Duskin, Copper Dragon Rune. This rune's magic imparts the devious nature of copper dragons. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on dexterity sleight of hand checks and charisma deception checks. In addition, when you are a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to invoke this rune and cause that attack to target a different creature within 30 feet of you other than the attacker, using the same roll. This magic can transfer the attack regardless of the attack's range. Once you invoke this rune, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Very interesting, and some of the runes and features are similar to the Rune Knight, which I will pull up now. But on to the review itself. Just reminding myself of the Rune Knight itself. Story-wise, I like it. Very, very interesting, very flavorful. I like the mechanics of you have to choose metallic or chromatic, and they have their own runes, and I think you get all of them at the highest level. You get all, I think there's 5. You get all 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Whereas with the regular Rune Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 to choose from, so you can. So regardless, you're not going to get all of them, which is fine. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, I do like that. The rune magic is very much the same as the regular rune magic for the Rune Knight, except you don't. You can. I think for inscribing runes, it can be like a jewel or something you can wear or wield. Right. Yeah. And then, yeah, you can carve. You have the proficiency. You have the giant instead of draconic. And then you do have the giants. Is it giant smite, I think? Giant smite, which is basically the same as. Yeah. Same as Dragon's Might here, which is fine. They're just making it a little different. And then the defensive runes here is different. I really like this too. This is cool. So in the other one, you can force when someone makes an attack roll, you can make them re-roll the d20. Where here, if someone is hit by an attack roll, you can use a reaction to give them a bonus to AC. Equals to your intelligence modifier. I think usually theirs is constitution instead of intelligence for the Rune Knight, which is pretty nice. But I think intelligence for the Dragon Rune Knight makes sense. And then great stature is pretty much the same for theirs. You get the 3d4 and the extra damage. Whereas theirs, they have at 18th level, the damage increases to a d10, whereas this doesn't. Rune Magic Mastery, I believe that's the same, but the Blessing of the Ancient Fang is different, where you can give someone else the Dragon's Might feature, which is really cool, really flavorful. I really like how that can synergize well with like giving paladin. You can give that to your friendly paladin or friendly barbarian or something like that. So they can be stronger and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're low. In the future, and 2 runes, yeah. And then 2 at 3rd, and then 1 at 7th, 1 at 10th, 2 at 3rd, 1 at 7th, 1 at 10th, and 1 at 15th, so all 5. DC is using your intelligence, whereas in the Rune Knight it's Constitution. I am going back and forth between the two only because they're how similar they are. The runes, the Red Dragon Rune Ixen is actually a newer one that I didn't doesn't seem to be like any of the runes in the actual Rune Knight, which is cool. Giving you fire resistance, which is a nice common resistance, and then you can then you have if someone hits you, you basically have a smaller well, yeah, it's like Hellish Rebuke, except it doesn't deal as much damage, but it doesn't have a saving throw. They just take the damage, and it's not a reaction, which is nice. The Black Dragon Rune is another new one. You have a +2 damage to your weapon and attacks against humans, which is cool. It's only against humans. And then when a humanoid creature makes an attack against you, you can cause them to be frightened, which is cool. It looks like it doesn't, there isn't a range to how far away they can be. You can be like an archer, you can just cause them to be afraid of you, which is cool. Blue Dragon Rune, you have advantage on Arcana checks and you can't be surprised, which is nice. I think, is that something that they have? Yeah, the Storm Rune has that. And then, but the second one, I don't think any of them have that, where you can heighten your awareness of battlefield tactics, and you can give people advantage or disadvantage using your reaction, which is cool. And they have to be within 60 feet of you. That is really nice. I really like that one. Green Dragon Rune. I believe that first point, the advantage on deception and persuasion checks. I think that's one. Maybe. Guess not. That's fine. And then you're turning invisible for a few rounds, which is cool. When you cast a spell, make an attack roll, or the duration ends, that's when it goes away. But you could feasibly do that and then kind of either drink potions, or you could, I was even thinking like placing traps or something around, or maneuver yourself around to another place, which is cool. But that's also not a thing from the Rune Knight. And then the White Dragon Rune, that one, I believe, yeah, it's like the first one is like the Frost Rune, and the second one is like the Hill Giant Rune, which is cool. So it's a kind of a mixed match of that, which is cool. Metallic Dragons, the Silver Dragon Rune. I don't think that first point is any of the Rune Knights. I don't remember. Advantage on history checks and against being charmed. I don't believe. No. Which is nice. And then the second one is like the Stone Giant, where they're in the dream stupor. They're just incapacitated for a little while, which is cool. Makes sense. It's fine. The Gold Dragon, where you have an advantage on insight and can't be frightened. I don't think that's any of these. No. Which is fine. Which is actually really good, because then you can be like, oh, this is like that. And then their second one is like the Fire Giant, where the Fire Giant, you get the chains to restrain someone. Here's the small fiery worms to restrain them, which is cool. Very similar, but that's, again, totally fine. Flavorfully different. The Bronze Dragon Rune, advantage on initiative checks. That's really nice. I don't think that's not a regular rune. And then the second one is a new one as well, where if the ally is within 5 feet that you chose, they gain advantage on attack rolls when they're within 5 feet of you, which is cool. The Brass Dragon Rune, that's a really cool one, because you can detect the presence of magic in items while held in your hands. So you don't really need the detect magic or identify as much. You could just pick up an object, see if it's magical in nature, and then you can identify it to see if what's its properties or whatever. But that's cool. That's a new one. And then their second one is also new, where you can, if you're hit, you can use your reaction to just expel energy around you, and they just make a strength saving throw or be pushed back 10 feet and fall prone, which is nice. It's a cool visual and mechanical effect. And then the Copper Rune, their first one, I believe, is kind of like the Cloud Rune. Yeah, advantage on charisma, deception, and sleight of hand, which is fine. And then the second effect, is that kind of like Cloud Rune 2? It is like the Cloud Rune 2, which is fine. But that's, nothing good nor bad about that. Let's see here. Anything that is overpowered or underpowered? I really don't think so. There are, like, I would say this is half similar to the Rune Knight, but I think it's different enough that it can stand on its own legs. Its own effects are really cool. I don't think any of these are underpowered or overpowered too much. I like how you can choose between the two families, two families or two types of dragons, and you get all of them at the highest level. But there are no level restrictions, so you could presumably get the gold, right? Or is it the other one? Or go is it chromatic? I didn't think it was chromatic. One of these give you the resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, unless I'm reading through. I thought one of these. The White Dragon. Yeah, you could go chromatic with White Dragon and get that at 3rd level, but that's only once, and you can't do it until you finish a short or long rest. Is it? Which is fine. Kind of steps into the rage, but that's the barbarian, but that's fine. But that's like only one of 2, and then you can get all of them. So you can mix and match for lower levels, which is cool. But I like how they're flavorfully and mechanically different. So you could have 2 Rune Knights in a group, one that's 2 Dragon Rune Knights in a group, one that's chromatic and one that's metallic, and then they would have different fighting styles and abilities, which is cool. I also like that the final feature of the Dragon Rune Knight is you're sharing the rune magic instead of you're getting more and more powerful yourself. Really, I can see a lot of synergetic applications for that, and I really like that. But I'm not anything else. It is similar to the Rune Knight, but I think it can stand on its own feet. I would love to see it in combat, in gameplay. And if you want to join me in looking at that, then let me know in the comments or in an email. I'll make sure to respond. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. I just want to bring up again my sister's idea of the D&D themed bar, which sounds fun. I don't know when that'll happen, but I just want to start putting the word out there. Of course, there's my other videos, yes, and my streaming. Probably by the time I posted this, I'd have finished the first Lego Movie game, which is cool, and I'm going on to the Lego Movie 2, which will be fun. And then from there I'll be splitting my time, and then my writing, which I'm getting close to finishing the stories of those, and then I'll start world building, which I'm really excited about, and then I'll start using that setting for different campaigns and stuff, which will be a lot of fun. But check me out there. Check out the link in the description of this, along with the author link and my email, if you want to join my team to increase the quantity and the quality of these videos. That would be fun. Anything else? Of course, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. My previous video and my channel subscription, if you want to subscribe to that. I'll join. Yeah. Next week we are going into another dragon themed thing, the Way of the Dragon Monk, which that can on the surface it sounds like it could be similar to the new Way of Dragon monk. Is it the Way of Dragon? It's the I'm looking it up now. The monk, the way of, is it the Way of the Ascendant Dragon, where it could be the same, but let me see. Looking at it, it's actually, cool. Let's see here. Oh, Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. This is at the surface. It sound the name makes it think that I was just reading over it. The names makes it seem like it's similar to the Way of the Ascendant Dragon, but looking over it, it is none of the features are the same, and I really like that. It looks very different, and another cool use of dragons in a class or a subclass. So join me next week for the Way of the Dragon Monk, where for whatever reason these two are dragon themed. But yeah, join me next week for that. Also join me on Saturday for my lore crafting of the Dragon Rune Knight. That should be a lot of fun. Anything else? Nothing that I can think of. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, share. Previous video, channel subscription. I know I did it before, but because it's the end of the video, the end credits are happening. Anything else? Not that I can think of. I'll see you guys on Friday next week, and streams and all that fun stuff. See you guys later. This idiot out.